What is up, y'all? I am going live a little bit early tonight because I had something come up. I'm right up in your grill here. So we'll see who all can show up. And I just promised that I would go live every week. And the second week that I'm going to go live at my new slot, I had something come up. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We'll do about an hour here. And I'm going to pull up the chat here so I can see what's going on. My eyes aren't as good as what they used to be. So what is everybody up to tonight? Just getting off work. What is up, Chattanooga Ed, Tampa Tom, Ken Amy? Almost look cross-eyed in that. Alright, let me mute that. So what is up, guys? Hi, Shelby Ray. What's up, Hour? Reels, Tanks, and Bailey. Michael Flood. Mike from the Fish Tank Barn. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to go for now another couple more hours, but I had something come up, so I didn't know if I'd be really tired at late, so I decided to go ahead and do it now. Yeah, so what is up with everybody? How's everybody been doing? What's up, Daryl? Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Bailey says, wishing my pleco would spawn again. I'm getting ready to make a video about it, but golly, guys, I've done something right with my super reds because they are going nuts right now. I mean, I just now found 2 spawns in there after switching their tanks this weekend to try to get my L182s to spawn, and I did a big makeover, and I mean, both of my female super reds spawned. It's like going nuts. Ed's in the house. What's up, Ed? Chattanooga Ed said, I'm about to run out to get dinner, but I'll plug in to my car radio. Sweet. Did you ever get the 300-gallon tank setup? I did not. There's not really too big of an excuse. It's just gonna be a lot of work is all, and I got really lazy this summer, and I mean, it's just a lot of work to get it done. But I'm sure I'll get bored this fall and get back to it. But basically, to give you a rundown, I've got to beef up my floor joists, and I've got to pour concrete footings and put those lolly columns in and really beef up my floor, because after I got it, I realized how much weight it's going to be with the weight of the stand and the sump as well. The sump is a 75-gallon, so it's a lot of work. Bailey says, Super Reds, maybe I'll buy some more Cheese Creeks and Super Reds in. Yeah, the Super Reds are really nice. The ones that I've got, the males and the females come from different lines, and I've always been really pleased with them. I haven't got to see the babies as adults because I've always been able to get rid of them right away, but man, when they get about 1 to 2 inches long, they look really, really red and really, really nice. So I know that my males are all from the same line. My males are always really, really super red. But my female, one of them comes from the same line. The other one come from Mike at Mile High Pleco's line. And she was more of a pumpkin color when I got her, but the combination together is a really good line. I'll come across town whenever I can and help you bust that stuff out for that 300-gallon. Yeah, that would be kind of fun. another thing is my basement is all disorganized, and I got to have a straight shot to get into that crawl space. So that'll be the first thing, and then I'll take you up on that. I'll get that basement in line over there on that side. KG Cichlids in the house, looking good, Jeff. Notification preview showed up, but whenever I went to notifications, your channel didn't show, which was weird. That is weird. I noticed this new thing on my iPhone that it's allowing me to do notifications that will go to my iPhone instead of email notifications. I thought that was pretty cool. What's up, Carrie? Nice to see you. Full Moon Aquatics is here. Jess Shrimp Granny's here. What's up, Jess? Boom, 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 boom. Hour's on his way home from work. Not Nola Jane Fishrich is here. I don't think anyone knows Jeffro is on. Yeah. The last software that I was going live off of was through Google Hangouts, and I could, what do you call it? Schedule it ahead and let everybody know. And then now, since I've been doing this, I can't really schedule it ahead. I have to actually push the button and go live on my phone, just direct. So I'm not really concerned about it all that much. After a while of going, Wednesday nights at 7 is supposed to be my time, and last week was my first time being back to it, and of course something came up tonight, so that's why I'm going early tonight. So it's just all confused right now. Dr. Black is in the house. Keith Bordley's here. What's up, guys? Who else just came in? The cheese creeks you sold me are doing great. That's awesome to hear, Ed. The guy that's in the chat here, Bailey, he lives local, and he's been sharing some pictures of his on Facebook. I keep all my babies in the dark all the time, so I really don't get to see them, but he's shared a couple of pictures that he's taken, and their honeycombing are better than their parents. I mean, the parents have some good honeycombing, but these guys are going to be nicer than the mom and dad. I can't wait to see the babies that they make, because I think they say by the third generation, so like the babies that they make and then the babies that they make are going to be the best. And that's when the line really starts looking really, really good. The dad, I moved him over 3 or 4 nights ago, back in with the female. I don't know why. I probably shouldn't have, because I've got a lot of babies, but man, I forgot how big he is. And the female, she was really, really plump, so I don't know. I could probably get another spawn out of him. He caved up for like the first 3 days that he was in there. What's up, Kevin? Nice to see you, buddy. Just glad it's on Wednesday now. Yeah, I know. I'm enjoying the Wednesday night. One thing that I did today, whenever I originally put my reminder up, I put it for Wednesday mornings. And one thing I did today is I moved it to the end of the day. That way it reminds me, because last week I had forgotten all about it and almost forgot it. Like, I realized, oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to go live within 30 minutes before. Bailey says, eventually I'll get my own channel up and going so y'all can see my Pleco Wonderland. Bailey does have an Insta. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but Bailey can share it if he wants to. Can't think of anything that I got going on right now except for my super red bristlenose are going nuts. I've had 4 spawns in the last like 3 weeks, somewhere around in there. And yeah, this weekend I did some changes. And that's another thing. I don't have a video up yet, so maybe tomorrow night I can edit a video to come out Friday. What I want to do is I want to do videos for Thursdays. That's what I would like to do. That way I can kind of talk about them on Wednesday nights, what's coming up tomorrow. And I know that you used to, whenever I would have a live stream the night before I had a video coming out, it would tend to make people, it'd be like kind of like a commercial for it, I would talk about it and what's coming up and give you little teasers and stuff like that, and then the people would really actually show up the next day and watch it. I don't think I'm going to have it up by tomorrow though, so I'll try for Friday. Heading home from work. Uh, water change the 125 and put in a show piece of driftwood. Awesome. Dun, 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 dun. You got a 20 long? Yeah, I love those 20 longs. The only thing I don't like is I got a 20 long that I put some plants in, and that makes them not be able to grow up very high. But like if I could get some shorter like carpeting plants in there, I think I'd like it. But if you guys remember that crystal shrimp tank that I did a while back, the plants in it are stem plants, and you can't really, I mean, you can put stem plants in there, but it just kind of dwarfs them and makes them weird. So I'd almost like to put some, I need to get all the duckweed out of that tank, but almost like to put some carpeting plants in there. And then I need to give you guys an update on that tank. It's really nice. I've got black, or not black, I've got those yellow shrimp from Lucas in there, and they're producing. I finally got some babies out of them. And they really, the yellow is really brightened up. They're on a dark substrate in there. I did get, by accident, on the back side of the matin filter, a Cheese Creek baby in there, and I don't remember how it happened, but it did. And then not too long ago, my flow on that matin filter slowed down, so I pulled the uplift tube out and fixed the tube. The tube was just crimped off, and put it all back together. And then about a week later, I realized that the Cheese Creek baby is in the regular tank now, and I've just left him in there. I've also, in the tank where I do all the breeding with the mom and dad, it's a 40-gallon breeder. I've got like 18 babies in there, and they're really getting big. So I figured what I'd kind of do is kind of maybe keep a colony, because I've got over 100 of them right now. So I figured I would keep some and maybe eventually get a breeding program with them and get the next spawn out of them, and you know, have like what, a F2 out of them, or F3s. Can't remember. F1 is what I got now on the babies, so it'd be F2, yeah. Yeah, the 20 longs, you got to keep up with them. And then, I don't know. They're just too short, really. Yeah, I love the 40-gallon longs. What's up, Mikey? He says, hi, Poopy Butt. Hi, Mikey. I can't believe that you're off work. I gotta go grab my water real quick, guys. I don't know where I set it, but I'm getting parched. Oh. So where you at these days, Mikey? I don't really have anything else to really talk about, guys. Videos that I've got in the box right now is I did some filming this last weekend whenever I switched all those tanks up, but I'll probably do some more because I'm going to take the 183 tank down this weekend. Basically, big time just clean out, 100% water changes. And then I've got a video that I've got put together about my super reds. And then I do have some video. I haven't got to really look at it yet. I know whenever I was taking the video, I didn't feel like I had enough. So I haven't really sat down and looked at it yet. But Carrie from Science Gal Aquatics, I did film in her fish room. It would have had to have been, I think May, I think is when it was. And here it is, October, and I still haven't got it put together. I've got it all set aside. I just need to look at it and see if there's enough there to really do it justice, because the last thing you want to do is video someone's fish room and then not do a very good job of it, you know, makes it not look as good. Like with Mikey, that's here in the chat, Mile High Plecos, I went to him in March, and I didn't even notice until I got home and I was editing all the video. We really needed to clean the viewing glass on his tanks. It was pretty bad. It was really spotty and stuff, and I keep my tanks that way too. I'm not saying that his fish room is a joke or nothing like that. It's just we should have really cleaned the viewing glass on it to where it would have showed up better. So I kind of messed up on that, but I'll go back to him again someday and do another updated video. Jeff, forgot to tell you, my store posted a short fish walkthrough video on Facebook. Awesome. I'll have to check that out. Thirsty Rabbit's here. What's up? Do you ship? I've been wanting Cheese Creeks. Yep, Dwayne, I do. I do have heat packs, so even though it's getting chilly right now, we can do it. I know that you'll probably have to get a hold of me pretty soon though, because when it gets like mid-November to January-ish, I stop because of the holidays, because there's delays and stuff like that during the holidays for shipping. But how you find out how to get a hold of me is you go on my About section on my channel here. So click on my channel, actually go to my channel and go to the About section, and my email is in there, and you just send me an email with how many you're looking for, and I'll send you like a quote on you know, how much they are and how much shipping is. I got 2 different sizes right now, so 2 different prices, so it depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, Carrie, I know that I did get some good footage for sure of the outdoor stuff. So if I don't have enough to really get one put together, whenever I come around Thanksgiving, I'm going to be coming around Thanksgiving, I might stop by if you're around, you know. That's one nice thing about you, is I go through there like 5 or 6 times a year, so it's not like I can't, you know. It wasn't like one of those once in a lifetime things where I can't ever go back to, but I don't know, I might have did a good enough job too. So Brandon from Mr. B's is here. He shared it out. Thanks a lot, Brandon. Okay, another thing that I did, which I didn't do last year, and it made me feel really good that I did do it. Last year I did not take my summer tubs down at all. I only had 2 going outside last year. I had a 140 gallon and I had a 90 gallon, and I left them going all year long. If you remember, I was doing like a test to see how long I could keep them going, and I put some heaters in them and stuff like that, and left them up all winter long. They froze solid. They were kind of an eyesore, but I ended up taking all of them down, and what I did is I stacked them all inside each other, and then the biggest one out of them all I stacked on top of it upside down and put them out by my shop out back. And I was able to clean up around the back porch and stuff like that. And then next year I'll come up with a plan on spreading them out, you know. Pretty much my whole yard is shaded throughout the day, so I'm thinking about doing some of those where you don't do any filtration and different things like that, you know. And then figuring out what I'm going to put in them, you know, like, am I going to do some Daniels, do the white clouds next year, do some pleco projects outside, you know, things like that. So it's kind of weird to go out to the back porch and see that it's all cleared out. There's one thing left that I got to do. I am going to sorry, I keep on getting messages. Girls. The swimming pool thing that I had out there this summer that I was going to put some super reds in, I built a platform for it. You can pretty much see it in my last video. It was really nice and all, but I don't think I'm going to do it that way next year, so I'm going to break that all down and have a big bonfire this weekend. Fall weather's making me kind of want to do a bonfire, so I'm going to do that. It was all repurposed. I made the platform out of repurposed pallets. What is up, Connor? Yeah, Candy, I had to go live early tonight. I got plans tonight that came up, so I decided to go ahead and go now instead of late. I didn't know if I would be awake late to be able to do it late, so. But welcome. Hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully your family's doing well, Candy. And it's nice to see you. I need to answer back a message here. Sorry. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh well. I bet you. There we go. I bet you it froze, didn't it? Did it freeze while I was in there? Oh, I got to get used to going on this phone. Froze on you. Yep. I know that whenever I'm listening to music on my phone, I mostly listen to all my music on YouTube. So I watch music videos. And every time you back out, it stops. And I just thought of that whenever I was looking for this message to answer back, that it's probably going to freeze you guys. Like, durr, 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 durr. But anywho, let me get back over to the chat here. Oh shoot, I closed out the chat. So weather is chilly here. We're full swing fall. All of our leaves are turning on all of our trees, and getting down in the 40s at nighttime. A lot of rainy days, a lot of leaves falling off the trees, all that kind of stuff. But I just looked. I don't see your email. I'm looking for 6-ish in the cheaper size. Yeah, Dwayne, I'm only talking about that kind of stuff through email, so you're gonna have to find it. It's in there. I don't know if it makes you say if you're a robot or not. I know that sometimes when you go to someone's YouTube channel, you click on the for business purposes or something like that, and then it pops up. You have to prove that you're not a robot to get the email to show up or something like that. If you're on a mobile device, you might have to go onto a computer. I don't know, but it's there. It's in my about section. You have to click on for business. It's called for business or something like that. Let me just go and look at it so I can tell you while I'm on here. The reason why I don't put my email in the chat is because you end up getting a bunch of spam whenever you do that. But if you have it here, let's see, about section, and then you go down, and like for right now it says for business inquiries, and then you click on view email address. I don't know if it's not letting you because you're on a mobile or what, but it's there. And then you send me an email and I'll get back with you on it. He's a robot. Let's see here. I'm $100 closer to my puppy. Just $460 left, and she'll be mine. Awesome. Totally not excited. What kind of puppy you getting, Connor? I started looking at puppies this year. Dozer and Mia are only 6 years old, so they probably got a lot of years left. But I've started thinking about in the next couple of years to try to get a puppy to where, because Dozer and Mia are such good dogs, I want to pass that on to my next dog. And I know that both of my dogs are really chilled out, chill type dogs. And I know that if I got a puppy around them, they would help that puppy be chill. And the dog that I've been looking at to get next, I found a breeder that's about 4 hours away from me down in Missouri. And I was thinking about maybe this spring going and looking, but then again, I don't want to go look because then I'll want to get one, and I don't want to get one until a couple years from now. But what I'm looking for, or looking at right now, is the Italian Mastiff. And I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with that dog on the movie. I think it's called Bullet Head. These Italian Mastiffs, they crop the ears and they look a little bit like a pit bull, but just a giant one, you know. But certain breeders, their noses are short, kind of like the Mastiff, and I almost like the nose to be a little bit longer. I've seen some out there. Blue Merle Phantom Toy Poodle, cool. And nobody has bought the one I want yet, so I'm praying I'll get the rest of the money quickly. Sometimes breeders, if you put a little bit of money down, they'll save it for you too, but it's a non-refundable type thing usually. Thirsty Rabbit says, getting warm here at 8 a.m. in the morning. It was 21, 69 degrees. Good Lord. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, that hurts. I have a Saint Bernard. Cool. My grandparents had Saint Bernards when I was a kid, and one time they went on a 2-week vacation, and we got to keep that. The big male was named Tex, and I can remember that just like it was yesterday, but I was pretty young at the time. I would say I was less than 5 years old, and I can remember that dog. He was huge. Boom, 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 boom. Longer noses help them be healthier. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, Jess. That's cool. Yeah, it hurt bad. I hit it right on the corner of my desk, solid, and a full through swing. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's more of a solid hit whenever you go all the way through something. And that's what my hit was on my elbow. It was a full swing through. It didn't necessarily hit the funny bone. It hit right on the end of the elbow, though. Which stung pretty good. Right now he weighs 230 pounds. Dang. I would say at one time before I got Dozer on his healthy diet, healthy eating, I would say he was close to 100 pounds, and he's like a pit bull mix. His dad was full blood pit bull. His mom was like some kind of, I think she was mixed too, but from the looks of her, she looked like she had golden retriever in her. She was narrow, kind of had that color of coat, but a little bit more red. But you could tell she was a mix too. She wasn't full bred or full blood. But he was, I guarantee he was getting close to 100 pounds. I would say now he's probably more in the 50 to 60 pound range, somewhere around in there. I would say high 90s, in the 90s for sure, because he was just obese. His head and neck was just, yeah, 200 and some pounds is a horse. From poodle groups for looking at Merle, but I don't know, as long as it's healthy and happy and loved, what's matter. Yeah, Dozer is a big baby. Especially when he's hungry. I went the other night somewhere for a couple of hours, and I forgot to latch the kennel door whenever I left. They like me to keep the kennel door open all the time. They're like cave dogs. They like to go and lay down. Like, that's where they like to go rest at. I don't know if it's because it's more comfortable for them or what, but you know, if you keep the kennel door open, they like to stay in the kennel. It's weird. But whenever he's hungry, he comes and spends time with me and acts like a little angel baby, you know. Yeah, I haven't been around the Saint Bernard breed as an adult, and you know, it seems like they're more and more rare. Don't see them out a whole lot. But eat more than my 3 kids. Yeah, Dozer would eat a lot too if I let him. I mean, he would eat anytime you put food in front of him, he would eat. But anyhow, what I was going to say is I left the other night for a couple hours, and I came back home, and the big bag of barbecue doggy biscuits were completely empty in the floor, and he had red all over his snout. It was kind of funny. Love my Catawalla, but high energy working hound dog. I had a Weimaraners. Actually, I had two of them. I had two Weimaraners one time, and those dogs right there, you have to work them dogs, or their behavior gets, bad. They get anxiety if you don't work them. Lots and lots and lots of work. They're working class dog. And yeah, back whenever I had the Weimaraners, I had like a couple of long leashes, and on my heel side, I would just, wrap the leash around my hand, and I would go on bike rides with them. And I'll never forget one day, this lady, an elderly woman that was evidently angry at the world, came driving up beside me and started screaming out her window that I was going to kill my dogs. I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's not like I would ever go full out with them or anything, for long periods of time. I would just, at a normal pace. I kind of learned that from Caesar Milan. He would go rollerblading, I think is how he would do it. He would go rollerblading with all of his dogs. What's up, Jesse? Nice to see ya. Shelby Ray says, my big boy is a boxer pit mastiff mix. He weighs 145 pounds. His head standing on all fours is above my waist. I thought he was a big boy, but 235, dang, yeah, 235 is quite the dog. Mikey says his wife rollerblades with his dog. Cool. Good old Ruger. I met my second dog named Ruger the other day. I went to one of my customers' house. He has those Scottish Terriers, I think is what they are. Scottish Terrier. They got the short face. And he had 3 of them already, and he got a new one, and its name is Ruger. And he's kind of a pain. My Ruger's better. Your Ruger, I haven't got to see him in a long time. I bet he's huge. He's probably full grown. Comes on fish stream and changes the subject from fish to dogs. Dozer watches me do a lot of water changes. That's fish related. But yeah, I couldn't imagine having a dog that was over 200 pounds. I know that if I did get a Italian Mastiff, I know that they had the capabilities of getting really big if you feed them enough. What's up, Chad? Nice to see you, buddy. So Susan's here too. What's up, Susan? Nice to see ya. My dogs drink tank water more than out of the bowl. Yeah, I caught Dozer one time over at my 10-gallon rack. I was in another room and I heard drinking, and it didn't sound like it was coming from where it normally comes from. So I came out here and I looked, and he wasn't over at his water dish. And then I walk around the corner and he's at a 10-gallon tank just drinking her down. And then there's been times where outside in the summer tubs, you walk over there and he just starts. I'm surprised he never got into any of the summer tubs. Now this summer, with all the ones that I got out there, I moved him to the front. And that's another reason why I'm looking forward to moving him back to the back and getting those summer tubs taken down to where I can get him back there, because he's too close to the sidewalk up here and he gives people heart attacks all the time. But not everybody, he doesn't do it with everyone, but Italian Mastiffs do get big. I taught one that would Happy Pea, almost every time she saw me at 80 pounds, she was still a baby then. Dozer did that for probably his first whole year of his life. Dozer's always been really, really submissive. If I stand up facing him, he'll lay down. And used to, whenever he was a puppy, he would, nervous pee. And but he's grown out of the nervous portion of it now. He just waggles his tail and looks at you, It's like you say one thing to him to get up, and he comes right to you, But he's just really submissive. What's up, D? Nice to see ya. My dog is a doofus. Yeah, he's kind of a doofus. He'll grow out of it though. If I remember right, I think whenever I was there, he could let himself out the sliding glass door though, if I remember right. Seems like he did. And that's pretty smart. That he knows, he saw you guys do it so many times that he could grab onto the handle with his nose and push it. Aw, that's so cute, Jess. I don't think he even knows his name. Ruger. What size cave do I need for albino bristlenose plecos? Do I need 1 1/2 inch opening? That is a good question. I think that would do. You're better off, Susan. I know I heard you on your last live stream talking about PVC pipe, and they will spawn in PVC pipe. They'll spawn on your gravel sometimes, but they feel more comfortable in tight spaces, and one of the cheapest pleco caves that you can get are those terracotta watering spikes. And the thing about those that they like so much is they narrow at the end, and those males they feel really comfortable getting all the way into the back. They feel tight and secure. They can lock themselves in there really good, and then it also allows them to be able to trap that female in there. And they're cheap. I mean, they're really cheap. I mean, you can pick them up at Walmart, a 4-pack of them for less than $8 for sure. I can't even remember the last time I bought some, because I bought gobs and gobs of them, but I always got mine off Amazon, and I know that they're dirt cheap. They might even be as low as $4 for a 4-pack. But that's what I would do, is those terracotta spikes. Go on Amazon and order them, or you can get them at your local stores. But they will, and like 1.5 inch PVC pipe, they will spawn in those, but you have a better chance of getting them in something that they feel comfortable in, I've got some tanks that have PVC pipe in them, and I don't know that I've ever got any to spawn in them. I give all kinds of different choice too, it's a good idea to set some up facing all kinds of different ways, because the way the water moves in the tank sometimes will make them feel more comfortable. So that's only half the battle, but yeah, I like to give lots of choice. You're sure welcome, Susan. Giant fish and plant auction Sunday. Awesome. Those are always fun. Mine just spawned in a garage sale fish cave thing. Yeah, they do. There's just about anywhere they'll spawn. The accidental ones are the fun ones though, because you weren't expecting it to happen. Sometimes you're not not even trying to get it to happen. Sometimes you're growing some out and you don't even know you got male and females, and then all of a sudden out of the blue you see one fanning in a cave. That's what happened in my albino bristlenose tank. I had a bunch of babies growing out with like 3 females, and I hadn't paid much attention to that tank, just feeding it every day and keeping it clean, and filter maintenance. And I seen a pleco fanning in a cave, and I'm like, wait a second, I didn't have a male in here. And got to looking, and one of my males had got old enough that he had fertilized a spawn, and there was wigglers inside there. I was like, dang, that's pretty cool. Those are the fun ones that you're not even expecting it to happen. I didn't even know that they were old enough to sex yet. I hadn't paid very much attention. So, I mean, all I had done in that tank is just filter maintenance, water changes, and feeding them. You know, that's all I did. But then there's other ones where you try all kinds of different stuff to get them to go. But I'm hoping that since last weekend, whenever I changed the 182s and the Super Reds out, the Super Reds have already spawned 2 different caves. I'm hoping that those 182s, they caved up a little bit over the weekend, and I thought, wow, they're going to do it, you know. And I did a big heavy water change. I did filter maintenance. I did heavy vacuum on the bottom, got rid of all the mulm. I got rid of all the shrimp and all of the fish in both of those tanks, and then I just swapped them out. Kept some of the pheromone water, and I swapped them out, and the Super Reds have already spawned, and today is Wednesday, and that was Sunday that I did it, so it took them a few days, but hoping that the 182s will now. Bentley Pascal is here, and he says, looking good, buddy. Thanks a lot, Bentley. I appreciate that. I weighed in this weekend, and I'm down below my goal weight, so now I can kind of slow down on things and kind of just, you know, fall into a good, healthy eating pattern here, and I don't really need to work as hard. You know, there's days where I'm missing on my walking, like tonight I probably won't walk. There's days here and there that I'm missing out on my walking and just watching my calorie intake and stuff like that, but I don't think I really need to lose much more weight. So I appreciate that though. It feels good. Took me 8 months to get there. You know, I worked really, really hard at it. There was days where I was walking 6 to 10 miles. There was days, well, I actually did some fasting days there for a while too, but I ended up leaving that because I don't think it was really helping me any, and fasting is hard to do. I was doing full 1-day fasts, and there's been times in my life where I've done 3-day fasts, you know, back in the day in my late 20s, early 30s, I've done some 3-day fasts before, you know, where you just take in water for 3 days. But I did some studying whenever I was doing my 1-day fast during this whole 8-month period, and it really can actually make you store fat, so it can kind of not really help you lose weight. So I kind of got away from that. This is like that time I bought 2 black mollies and ended up buying a pair without knowing it, and ended up with like 30 fries. So yeah, that happened. Yeah, John Bedcare, a guy that comes here a lot, he paid high dollar for a really nice trio of swordtails a couple weeks ago, and they spawned for him already. So I thought that was pretty cool. That tank is going crazy. Yep, it is. I have 60, Connor, from 2 pairs. That's awesome. I know that those swordtails, they'll hang on to them for a long time. I've had swordtails, I know the female is pregnant for way over, you know, a couple months, and then she'll just drop 1 or 2 here and there, you know. And whenever you put a bunch of cover in there, she tends to drop more. But she hasn't dropped any in a long time. I mean, I would say it's been for sure 2 months she's been pregnant this time. Welcome, Angie. Nice to see ya. We're going to go for about 20 more minutes here. What is everybody up to this week? How's your week been going and stuff? Anybody got any cool things going on that they want to talk about? I think I pretty much covered everything for me. I just got to figure out what video I'm going to do. I'm contemplating on doing a Pleco versus food. I know I've been saying that for about a month now, but gosh, I haven't put one of those out in a couple of months. And right now the ideas are boiled egg or a carrot. I thought a carrot might be interesting too. One of my subscribers brought up both of those. I think if I do a boiled egg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like 5 or 6 of those adults and put them in a little 5-gallon tank. I've got some 5-gallon tanks down in the basement, and just focus in on that tank. I think that's how I do that one, because I have a feeling that when they get to the egg yolk, and I think Tampa Tom, if he's here, he's the one that brought up boiled egg. I can't remember who did the carrot, but I think once they get to the egg yolk, it's gonna get really, really messy. So I thought about pulling it down into a tight area, because that 55-gallon tank that they're in, if it starts getting messy and flinging all over, it's gonna be kind of hard to shoot my time-lapse shots that I do for that video series. So Terry says, starting a full-blown reef in a few weeks, moving fish around now to free up one of my show tanks. Yeah, I saw that you had an air mover that you put on there. That's really exciting, Terry. Reels Tank says, I missed the Pleco versus food. Yeah, I need to pretty much try to get one of those out a month is what my goal always was. And it's been a couple months since I've done one, so I need to, maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow night, is sit down and make a Pleco versus food. My longfin bristlenose likes canned carrots. That's good to know. I'm thinking that I'm just going to do a raw carrot. I might blanch it a little bit, because carrots are pretty hard. I know that the last time I did something hard like that, I did a sweet potato, and they couldn't hardly make a dent in it. I was going to blanch it, but instead what I did is I left the skin on it, and I put it in the crock pot for a couple hours, thinking that it would soften it up a little bit, and it was mush. And I was already set up with all the camera gear, so I went ahead and put the sweet potato in there raw, and they didn't really care for it. I went off of Mikey from Mile High Pleco's suggestion. He said he didn't ever blanch his or anything, and that's how I did it, but mine just didn't really care for it. I started out with Super Reds, and they wouldn't hardly touch it at all. So then I put it in with my common bristlenose tank, and they got on it like, you know, vultures, but they didn't really make very much headway on it. Cricket season started. I'm coaching under 10s again. That's fun. And water changes today. That's fun. Oh, mow my lawn. That's not fun. Yeah, I probably only got one more time that I've got to mow the yard. I think that's really cool that you coach cricket. That's really awesome. This was my first summer not coaching Little League Baseball in quite a few years, and there was numerous times that I thought about it. I didn't even go watch a baseball game this year. So yeah, it was kind of interesting to say the least. Very fulfilling. Those little 10-year-old kids are fun. Oh, by the way, for those who care, I definitely will be posting a video about Gypsy when I get her. Let's see here, what else did I miss? My threadfin Akara and pearl gouramis are still getting along splendidly. That's awesome. Pearl gouramis are nice. I thought about full moon. I thought about doing canned carrots with my plecos before. I figured that they would just eat them. Really cool. Let's see here. They came in a day before shipping. Oh, okay. How much time do we got? 15 minutes. All right, looks like I'm caught up in the chat. I don't think I missed anybody. Got 2 new tanks. Brandon got 2 new tanks. Cool. That is awesome. I still haven't done any of my downsizing yet. I guess what I need to do is probably go around and start taking pictures and start posting fish. Maybe I'll do a video also, maybe for next week, and talk about what I've got going, because usually, especially with new subscribers, you know, I've not done a fish room tour ever since I've been up over 3,000 subscribers. I probably haven't done a fish room tour since I was over 2,000 subscribers. So there's a lot of new subscribers that don't know what I have. So if I go around, because I'm downsizing and going to get out of live bears mostly, I'll probably keep a lot of male tanks, like male swordtail tanks, and maybe keep one female, but keep them all separate, you know. That way if I ever decided to get back in it, or if I ever heard somebody saying they were looking for a fish, I could put them together and get some spawns together or something. But I know those male Endler tanks are always really cool. I think that would be exciting. But I wouldn't have to keep so many tanks that way. So maybe I'll do that. Got to make some space out of my garage that got turned into a storage unit. Oh boy. Yeah, I need to get to work on my basement to where I can actually get to my crawl space and get my 300-gallon put up. I need to do that. It's basically just a bunch of shipping boxes from different shipments that I've got in that I really need to get rid of because I'm probably not going to use half of them. I'll keep my styrofoam coolers for whenever I go to auctions and stuff, but those are all, I've got tons of those boxes down there that I need to get rid of. I got a bunch of old rundown metal down there from old wheelchair parts because I'm that type that doesn't like to throw anything away, but I need to get rid of a lot of it, just take it to scrap. And then I've got some wheelchair cushion demo cushions down there that I've not touched in like a year that I need to get out and start putting them in my van to take with me to show people and have them set on them or take them to my shop. Yeah, just things like that where I can get down there and get to my crawl space because I got to get down there and get those columns poured. Mikey's not doing nothing. I bet you Mikey is probably working in the fish room tonight. We got a $9.99 super chat from Chad Krotz. Funds for the next Pleco versus food. Better buy them steak at this cost. Thanks a lot, Chad. I'll have to put that to good use. I appreciate that. Been lurking, the driftwood didn't want to sink. LOL, yeah. I've had that happen before. Usually on Mopani usually always sinks, but Malaysian and different things, spiderwood and things like that, they don't like to sink. I have some mutt guppies that need to go. I don't know what I'll put in the tank though. Yeah, same here. I've got a mutt guppy tank, and then I've got like a few straggler shrimp in that tank, and then some Malaysian trumpet snails, but I'm going to take all of those out, and then I'll turn that tank into a bare bottom, and it's going to be a Pleco grow out tank is what that one will be, a 55-gallon long. Yeah, Mikey, I guarantee you I am good because I know what I would be doing if I was away from my fish room for that long. Try to get everything figured out. You'll see the rock on it on Instagram later. Cool. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, those mutt guppy tanks, you know, every once in a while they kick out some really cool fish, but guppies don't really like my water all that much, you know. They've had a 55-gallon tank. They get fed every day. You know, the water parameters are as good as I can really get them. Weekly water changes and filter maintenance. And every time I've ever bought a fancy guppy, they always died. The ones that I got are just, I luckily had a female that dropped a few babies, and then they survived, but they don't really do a lot of prolific breeding or anything. So, yeah. Okay. I wasn't checking my time. My wrist vibrated, so I was trying to figure out what that was. But yeah, it's going to be kind of hard because I was into live bears for so long. It's going to be kind of hard to cut down on tanks, especially when you get multiple tank syndrome. That's all you think about is adding. Man, I wish I had another tank where I could set this up. And now I guess the upside would be to it is eventually I can add these tanks back. I doubt I'm going to sell them all, but if I get something that I find out there that I want to get, I can get it, and it can be a different thing like you know, catfish or something, you know. And then I can repurpose some of them, like this mutt guppy tank. I'm going to repurpose it and do it, you know, do a 55-gallon long grow out tank for some plecos. You know, I can fit a lot of plecos in there. And the bottom is long enough that they'll have a bunch of good floor space. Yeah. And then like the tank that I open up from them, I can do something different with. Yeah, wild bettas would be cool. And you know, if you really think about it, you could take a 55-gallon long and you could put a sponge filter every 10 inches or so, and you could make some dividers and put in there, and you could do that. And the nice thing about it is all their water parameters would be the same because it'd be like a flow through type thing, you know. You can breed plecos in a 55-gallon long by doing that too. I've seen some of those old school breeders. Mikey, if you're still in the chat, if you can help me remember who this one guy is, but that one guy that's in Colorado that has the really nice green dragons, he does a lot of that 55-gallon tank where he'll split them off down through there. What's up, Jeff? Nice to see ya. Yeah, but wild bettas would be cool, Jess. That would be a really good idea. Terry says, all of our tastes change through the years. A fish room is a living, changing thing and of itself. That is true. That is so true. What I found is I'm doing water changes on like 20 tanks that I don't really need to have 20 tanks. You know, I'm feeding and water changes and filter maintenance on 20 tanks that are doing nothing. And that's not fun. That's not fun fish keeping. I want to, you know, do things with them. You know, I want to enjoy them. And, you know, having a pet store type setup rack isn't really all that much fun. It was fun building it. It was fun setting it up. It was always nice to have an open tank. If I wanted to buy something, I could always have a cycled tank set up and ready to go. But Full Moon Aquatics says, I got dragonfly nymphs from pond plants I bought in my tank with black Moscow guppies, and they wiped them out. Oh my goodness, that's a bummer. I've got my muck guppies in a 20 high, so I'm limited. Yep, definitely. About the only thing you can do there, Jess, is some kind of bottom feeder or some shrimp. I love the Life with Pets dividers. They work very well. I did see that video and I agree. I think that that would be really, really good, and it didn't look like it'd be very hard to do either. That's awesome. I didn't know she had them for 40-gallon breeders now. That's cool. Yeah, they are very nasty, Shelby. Nobody has mentioned it, so I'm going to bring it up. Since there's 40 watching, everybody make for sure and hit the like button before they leave. That might help me for viewing purposes. We got about 5 minutes left. I'll try to get a video. I don't think I'm going to get a video up by tomorrow because I got a lot going on tonight. But I'll try my best to get, if I say it and I tell you guys, it will help me get motivated to do it. But I'll try my best to get a Pleco versus food video up by Friday. So that means that I really need to try to shoot it. That's going to be hard to do because the Pleco versus food videos, I have to shoot at nighttime. It could probably still get done, but I like to get that next morning look. On those Pleco versus food videos, what I do is I do a little bit of an intro and talk about the food that I'm going to feed them. And we find out if it's going to sink or float. I try to guess if it's going to sink or float. And then I put it down in the tank. If it's a floater, I weight it down a little bit. And then once I put it down in the tank, I give you guys a live look at it, and then I stop, and then I do a bunch of B-roll panning shots. And then I set up the camera, multiple cameras sometimes, and start doing time lapses. And each one of those time lapses take about 30 minutes a piece, and I keep on putting the camera in all kinds of different places. And then I stop after I do that, after an hour to 2 hours, depending on how good they're eating on it. And I give you guys a look of what's happened so far, you know, how they like the food so far. And then I like to shut it down for the night And first thing the next morning, I always have like a real deep growly voice because I literally did just wake up and I'm getting, you know, my coffee going and everything. And I give you guys a look at it the next morning. And that would be kind of hard to do for Friday because I got to work Friday. So if I did this video, it would have to be, I'd have to do it all Thursday night. So I don't know, maybe we'll plan for that for next week. But I'll try to get a video put up for Friday. I've got 3 of them that are in the can, so I'm sure I can do that for sure. And then I'll work really hard this weekend at getting a Pleco versus food video shot for you guys for next week. I'm excited to get one going too. Ginger Graves is here. Nice to see you, Ginger. Full Moon says it's almost time for me to do a complete overhaul on most of my tanks, being very cautious about planning. Yes, that is something that I've been taking my time on. I want to plan and rehome all my fish, and make sure that, you know, I've got something going with them. I don't want to just take them down and unload them all on my LFS, because I sometimes forget. I think I've got more aquariums than he does, so it would be kind of overwhelming for him. And I don't think he really is set up good enough for quarantine and stuff like that. Boom, 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 boom. Any plecos are you trying to breed right now? I got a video that I just shot this weekend. I did some takedowns of some tanks and did some tank swaps. Tanks that have been doing good on pleco breeding. I moved some fish into those to try to get them going, and in the process the fish that were doing good have already spawned twice in the last 3 days since then. I've still got my L183s to go, so this weekend I'm gonna redo their tank, and I might, before these super reds turn into wigglers, I might go ahead and pull them out again and do that 183 tank this weekend and move them up into the super red tank. Since it did just spawn, I know that the water parameters are good for spawning for bristlenose, so maybe that would throw them in, and then do a complete redo of that bottom tank and then move the super reds down there and just keep playing musical tanks while they're adults. And it's only 1 piece of driftwood and some caves. It's real easy to catch all the adults, put them in a little, you know, specimen container, grab all the adults out of the other tank, put them all up in this tank, and then put them all down in that tank. And I might even just make the video called Musical Tanks or something like that. Musical Tank Fish Breeding or something like that, because I shot enough video this weekend to show you guys that they have spawned in just a few days, you know, just by doing a musical tank. They had just spawned a week earlier, and now they spawned twice. You know, the females are just going off. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of pleco videos planned. I've got like probably 3 pleco videos I can make. And, yeah, so then I'll start doing some downsizing maybe. I might even this weekend get the basement cleaned out and start working. Bailey, that was in here earlier, said he'd come over and help me start working on the 300 gallons. So we are at 6 o'clock. Sorry for changing up the time. I still had tons of fun. I plan on being here at my normal time next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks everyone that came, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace out, y'all.